Hey guys, this is Dr. Osborne. So on a day-to-day basis, I promise you should have plenty of energy to do all the things that you wanted to do in life. You know, things like getting out of bed. You might not love getting out of bed, but within a few 5-10 minutes, I promise you should notice that your energy is good, it's returning, and you're ready to start the day, that you have wakefulness and you're ready to go, you're excited to start your day. You should have just great mental clarity, right? That's how things should be. You should be able to remember all kinds of things, names, phone numbers. You should be able to perform at your very highest level, whatever it is, whether you're working as a CEO or whether you're trying to be the best mother or father you can be, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You should be able to perform at a very high level, and you shouldn't be dealing with chronic pain. You should be really focused on things that are like your life's purpose, to not be distracted by fatigue, by poor mental clarity, by mood issues, by anxiety, by depression, by joint pain. You should be at an optimal weight. You should be able to go out and exercise whenever you want to. And when you do exercise, you should recover from that exercise incredibly well. You should then be able to go out and do it again the next day. Look, inflammation, both in you and I know what it is. It's really at the root of all chronic degenerative conditions. And we're talking about things like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, dementia, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, but not only those kind of conditions, the things that you usually think of, but those are things that young people are dealing with, like rashes and eczema and rheumatoid arthritis and thyroid issues. So all of these types of issues that people are dealing with out there, the root of the thing that we're dealing with was inflammation. And inflammation, just so you know, is really a survival mechanism. We know that chronic systemic infections have killed more people out throughout the history of mankind than anything else. So our ancestors, when they were out there hunting one day, and they're out there hunting and gathering, or they're going into battle or a war, or they're injured, there was going to be some sort of trauma, like maybe they were going to be attacked by an animal and they were going to have a flesh wound. Well, typically that flesh wound, wasn't actually what killed them. It was actually an infection that got into the wound that spread through their blood system right into their lungs, gave them pneumonia and spread into their nervous system and gave them meningitis. And then they end up dying from that bite or that flesh wound. So our body, the innate intelligence in our body that God created us with is hardwired. It hardwired us to adapt to have a defense mechanism. And for just this sort of systemic infection like sepsis. So that adaptation was what we call inflammation. And inflammation is really a part of what your immune system does. It's an immune system process that helps you break down any sort of pathogen, and it's a key in the healing process. It breaks down damaged tissue, and it really initiates that healing process. But inflammation is meant to be acute. It's meant to be short. It's meant to keep things clean and to clean up the environment and to make sure that we're not going to die from an infection. It's supposed to break down damaged cells and then allow the body to remodel and to heal. And that's the issue we're dealing with today. With that we never turn off this inflammatory process. It's on all the time. It's catabolic, means that it's breaking down the tissues. It's breaking down our cells. And we can live a long time with chronic inflammation. However, it creates a lot of suffering and a lot of unnecessary suffering. A lot of tissue starts breaking down. A lot of disease starts building up, whether it's, like we call it, joint pain, whether it's that inflammation that's affecting your brain and affecting our mood and creating that what is it called? Brain fog, or things like anxiety and depression. And then we use a term called memory problems like Alzheimer's and dementia, right? It damages our heart. It causes high blood pressure and cardiovascular issues, and it ultimately leads to congestive heart failure. It impacts your thyroid, causing you to obviously have hypothyroid or autoimmune issues. Things like Hashimoto's or thyroiditis or Graves' disease. Look, I mean, any number of conditions out there. It is the process that started as a survival mechanism, and it started for our own benefit, but it never gets turned off, and ultimately it leads to organ and gland failure in our system. And that is exactly why we're having our inflammation and degeneration class. Look, Dr. Doss and I have been working really hard to put this class together so you can have the keys, the tools to be able to stop the fire, put out the fire in your body, and turn on the fire in your life. So, hey, look, this is Dr. Osborne. I will invite you to click the link below For the class, it's going to be on July 31st. It's going to be at 6:30 at night. This is one of those do not miss classes, and I'll see you there.